Hello and welcome. Welcome back to Celebrity B&E. It's been a couple of years. The death of Tex, it hit me hard. I'll be very honest. I struggled to cope. I'd only known him maybe 2 weeks, but we'd grown closer than you would expect two grown men who break into celebrities' houses to grow together. We grew quite a lot together, but he died, and I somewhat blame myself. I said to him, "There's no way, Tex, there's no way on God's green earth that you can smoke 60 of them Benson and Hedges in half an hour." And I'm proud to say, dear listeners, I was correct. 38 cigarettes in, a coughing fit, and several what the doctor described as rather large aneurysms later, Tex was no more. But I'm back. I'm back with sound engineer and cameraman Jeff. We've agreed we won't frequent each other's homes. We won't hang around with each other outside of the show for the longevity of the series. And this week, speaking of the longevity of the series, and speaking of death, we're having a look around the now abandoned home of TV legend, Northern powerhouse, sports connoisseur, Tony Green. Now, from the outside, you can see it's abundantly clear this was a man who loved. It was a man who loved and was loved by many of the men around him, by many of the women he brought through these fair doors. The doors are like a stable door. To me, from here, looks like oak. I can't be quite sure until I get closer. It feels varnished, it feels loved, it feels adored. Stepping through the door, the top door opened very easily, almost as if they was expecting guests, like they may have been expecting me to come have a peep. Maybe they've heard of the show, maybe they're not too sure, maybe they just think people would leave well enough alone. Maybe, just maybe, it was a fluke. Maybe it's got nothing to do with Jeff and his strange little plastic envelope he keeps in his pocket full of metal sticks. I meet Jeff at these properties half an hour after he gets here. He's also the security manager for the show. Now, stepping straight in, we're straight into a kitchen. Now, looking round, it's very clear to see that Tony Green was a man of wealth and sophistication. There's no artwork in the kitchen, which shows if he does have artwork in the rest of the house, he must care about it, because he doesn't want the chip grease damaging the canvas or getting into the grooves of the wooden panellings or the carvings, or slightly staining the marble. Let's have a little look in his cupboards. What's he got here? Well, I'll be very honest, it's very dusty, and there's not a lot in here, which I suppose is to be expected. You would never think in a dead man's house you're going to find a lot of leftover stuff. Now, just to be abundantly clear, I had to pay 5 men £30 each to find the address of this house. It's not his family home. It's his home away from home, they called it. They said, this house here is where Tony Green loved to spend the odd weekend. Not entertaining, not with women who he didn't spend his time with in the week. He wasn't one of these men that goes around throwing it all around willy-nilly. No. He was a man who loved and was loved. This was his home that he came to, just to relax, just to have a little look about. It's actually about 2 miles as the crow flies from the Cat and Fiddle. We came here on foot. We had to wait for a day like today because it's been snowing through the winter and we didn't want to leave tread marks on his carpets, just on the off chance he's up there watching us now. Or in worst case scenario, he never truly passed over. Obviously we know he's dead, but maybe he didn't pass over. Maybe he's haunting this home. And if you are there, Mr. Green, I'm ever so sorry, but I am going to have a little nosy about your house. Now, moving into the next room. It's no door between the kitchen and living room. I'm guessing one of his children may have took it. One of his children may have been like, you know what, we need these doors for our house. Our house and our doors are always swelling up with the weather. He's got some treated timber in this house, if I do say so myself. Obviously they're the words of his son or daughter, or possibly both. Maybe they argued over it. Maybe that's why they cut the back door in half. Maybe that's why they've got the stable door, because they couldn't decide who gets the back door. Maybe there was an odd number of doors throughout the house. Maybe they've took all of the doors between them, including possibly even the front door. Who knows? Maybe that's more of a window. We'll find out when we get there. I'll presume this was the living room now. All the couches are covered in plastic. They're all covered in polythene, kind of reminiscent of that scene in Snatch. And wouldn't Tony Green he have played a fantastic Bricktop? I think we can all agree to that. He would have played a fucking blinder as Bricktop. The polythene sheets are clear plastic. Underneath, we've got a sort of mottled purple fabric couch. It's a 3-piece suite. He's got the armchair. It looks relatively worn. The couches look pristine under that plastic. Possibly he never took the plastic off them. Like I say, according to them men down the pubs, he never entertained in this premises. It was purely just his home, away from home, a little vacation premises, if you will. Not a lot to report on in here. Again, no artwork. Maybe his nephews and nieces may be taking some of the artwork away. Moving through into the hallway, we can see the front door is in fact a glass door. Maybe in the argument amongst the siblings of his children, maybe they argued that this is more of a window. What are we going to do with this PVC door? And I'm looking at Jeff now, and I'm saying to Jeff, why didn't we come in this way? That latch doesn't even look like it's on. Surely that would have been easier. It's been raining. We're soaked. We've had to leave our coats in the back door. If he's got any security cameras in here, I don't know who's watching them, but they're going to know. They're going to know who we are. We've had to leave our face coverings as well. COVID's long gone, but Jeff insists he's one of them, unfortunately. Which, I said that the reason why we don't socialise outside of work is because I took quite a long time to get over the death of Tex. But to be very honest with you, it's partly because of that. And I'm looking him dead in the eye as I'm saying that. He doesn't care. He can't tell the sincerity in my face. He can barely tell I'm frowning, what with the beanie on and the face mask covering my nose and mouth. I hope this is coming through the mic quite clearly. I've had to put it inside of the blue face covering, which even if these were real, surely we would have to have disposed of them properly through some form of medical. I'm getting off topic. Let's have a look upstairs. It's quite a long staircase, this. I count 26, but I know Jeff's a stickler for the landing, so I'll say 27. But in honour of Tex, it's only actually 25, because we don't include the first step. Because, as Tex used to say, the first step's always the hardest. I do miss him. I really do. I do miss Tex. Jeff will never compare. I don't think Jeff will be here next week. No, don't go yet, Jeff. We still need to finish the bedrooms. Come on, there's bound to be a bathroom up here somewhere. Opening this door. Oh, no, that is rather spectacular. It's an airing cupboard. The boiler, bronze plated. There's a couple of towels. Embossed, I believe is the term. You can see very clearly the T and the G. I wonder when he last used these. Yes, let's give them a little whiff. It's just about as musty as you would think. I always thought he'd smell more like an ashtray, to be honest. He just had that vibe about him that said he'd smell like an ashtray. But boiler's empty. We can give it a clack, and it's empty. A little pat on the side. There's nothing in there. Water's been off for quite a while, I assume. Going through the door opposite this door on this hallway. Green carpet on the hallway, for those of yous wondering. Oh, we've got a little bit of artwork here. Now, artwork might be a bit of a push. It may have been bought from the likes of Dunelm, or I can't imagine Tony shopping at Dunelm, though. Maybe it's the sort of thing he picked up at Home Bargains. Maybe even Pound. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say he got this one from Pound Stretcher. It's about 4 foot by 4 foot canvas. It's shaded in, I think it's monochrome, possibly. Greys, blacks and whites. Not in like a weird way. It's a scene, and it's an old-timey scene. It looks like someone sticking a stick in the top of an old oil lamp on a quite busy street, maybe in Victorian times. Pretty weird. Very strange thing to have. The light fittings have been taken as well. I'm a little disappointed so far. I'll be very honest with you. Very disappointed. Let's have a little look at the view. Oh, that's a lovely view, that. Look at them sweeping hills, Jeff. Look at that. Hey, that's a fucking sight, isn't it? Let's have a look in the other rooms. We've got 2 rooms left. One of these is bound to be the bathroom now. And here it is. The bathroom. Next to the room we've just been in with the artwork. We've taken maybe 3 steps across quite a large room. For such an imposing picture, still quite a large room. The bathroom. It's quite simple. It's quite basic. Blue and white checkerboard tiles on the walls and the floor. Toilet. Peach. Bath. Peach. Scratched quite heavily. Deeper scratches. As I rub the scratches, you can feel they're quite deep, especially around the area where the end of the plug chain connects to the bath. I get the feeling that Mr. Green may have had quite long nails, or at least whatever he was putting in his bath really wanted to fucking damage the plug. I don't know. It's hard to guess, really. There's a little cupboard in here. Let's open up the cupboard. Oh my! Yeah, bloody hell, Jeff. Did you put that there? Rubber spider. Oh, you little cunt. Jeff says it wasn't him. I don't believe him. Tex had never done this. Tex took this seriously. Not like you. You're a fucking mess. You'll be gone. That's it. We're done. Not even looking at the next room. Fuck off, Jeff. Get out. I'll do it on my own. Give us the equipment. So, the last room. Fuck him. He's a dickhead. The last room. Oh, it's a 4-poster bed. Very, very thick wood. If I had to guess, and it is a guess, I'd say it's not very expensive wood. I think it may even be MDF. But it is still quite nice. It's rather strange to see. It's been painted. Again, it's sort of a greeny colour. I suppose maybe you like the colour green. No carpet in here, though there is remnants of the carpet around the posts of the bed. Why they would take the carpet and not the bed is beyond me. Must have been a relatively expensive carpet. Maybe they only want to furnish a small room with the leftovers. The carpet looks like it may have been some form of yellowish colour. maybe cream. It looks quite dirty though. Maybe they took it out of shame for this dirty room. Like I say, he was very rarely here. He was a lovely man, loved and did love. He was always with his family to the very end. I don't know the last time he was even here. Looking out of the window, we can see his shed, but we won't be going in there. Some things are meant to stay private. And I suppose we've gotten to the end of the new series of Celebrity B&E. If you would like to apply to be the new Jeff or the new Tex, please don't hesitate to get in touch. I need someone with less attitude than Jeff, and quite possibly, for the sake of my heart, less personality than Tex. Thank you for listening.